guys who came late, you need to do my evaluation by yourself today sometime, okay? Everybody else did it in class, but they came early. And then one more information I need to give you. There's a section asking about these temperatures and chairs and all that. They're still evaluating me. So be generous to me, okay? Do not say two, because like that's something that I cannot control, okay? So I'm just letting you know in advance. Because I didn't know they're gonna do that to me either. I thought it was really funny. I was like, what? I'm not a building manager. All right, VT, because this is, I'm doing a 4.4, number 15. Are you with me, class? All right, I'm doing this. So we're just continuing from yesterday, but yesterday problem was different one, isn't it? Yeah. Remember WebAssign, do what? Regenerating problems. So each time I look at it, they give me different one. So yesterday they give me 56, today they give me what? 110. That's what I have. Are you with me, class? But it's the same problem, which is better for you anyway. So you get to make sure that you understand. So displacement. So it cancels out, right? If you move to the right and move to the left, it cancels out. So it gives you a net movement, whether it's moved to the right or if it's moved to the left. So the negative sign and positive sign, it cancels out, doesn't matter. Okay, it's not a total distance. So simply what do I do? Take a what? Integral of this, where? Time starts at 1 and ends at where? 16 of which one? This. Here gives me my displacement. Displacement is the same as what distance. Remember the one that you take a derivative of position function, it give you a velocity function. You take a derivative of velocity function, give you a acceleration. So this is what we're doing. We're going backward to get a what? Position function, in other words. Is everybody with me? All right, so take antiderivative of this. We know what to do. What's that equal to? T to the 3 divided by 3 minus t to the square divided by 2 minus 110 t. And I am evaluating from where? X equal to 1 and x equal to where? 16. So that is equal to 16 to the third, 16 to the square, and 16. Are you with me? The next one is what? I'm going to do 6. Now I'm going to plug it in. My lower limit. My lower limit is what? 1. So 1 to the third minus 1 to the square minus 1. And then the 1 does not change. I'm going to use blue. All right. Is everybody with me? So this is my upper limit. I plug it in t equal to 16. I should say t, right? Not x. I said it wrong. All right. Is everybody with me? So put that in your calculator and tell me. So you just do this calculation. 16 to the third minus 3 divided by what? 16 squared divided by 2 minus 110 times 16. What does it give you? I don't have my calculator, so you tell me what's that equal to. Put in your calculator, what does it give you? Do you have your calculation? Give me that number. What's the number here?
4096.
49 what?
4096.
4096. This is 256?
No, the next number. And then you need 110 divided by 6.
Oh, to multiply.
Oh, multiply.
Yeah.
Okay.
1760.
Right. that 16?
Yeah, 16.
Oh, 110 divided, times 16.
Yeah. So 17, 16? Okay. What's next one? And then tell me what this equals the total number. Put this number and then tell me what that equals. So I can finish my upper limit.
It's negative 522.
Negative 522. Okay. What about here? So 1/3 minus 1 is just squared, isn't it? Hey, class, I made a mistake. This is supposed to be 2, right? It's a 3 divided by 3 divided by 2. It's a 2 here. Okay. So 1/3 divided by 1/2 minus 110. That should be a negative number. What's that equal to? So when you put it in your calculator, what does it give you?
Negative 110.
So 1/3 minus 1/2, 110. What's that equal to?
Negative 110.1667.
Negative
661 over 6, or do you want it
This what's this equal to? This other one.
to put it all in the calculator, get it, decimal, then I put it into a fraction, so it's negative 661 over 6.
661 divided by what? 6?
Six.
Okay. And what's that equal to? All that equal to?
The first number should be 680.
Yeah.
The first number should be
Should
This
be
is
28.
2008?
28.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you got to divide by 32.
Oh,
You got to
16.
divide by the
I got what you had up.
I see. I
You
see
see,
your
you combine
point.
it.
This one is 16 to
So
the
you should
third
really
power.
divide all things.
Divided by 3. Now to give you this number. Yes or no?
Oh, that's wrong then. Oh, wait, because I didn't divide it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hang on real quick.
basically.
That should be, the first number should be
So you would
1365.
basically put that first.
Hang on.
Alright. So this one, 16 to the third divided by 3, what's that equal to?
1365.
1365.
0.33.
0.33. Well, just give me a fraction number then, so I can have a fraction number.
40, 96, divided by 3.
40 what?
96.
96 divided by 3. Okay. What's next one?
256 divided by 3.
Okay.
2.
So this is 40, 96 divided by 3, and this is just 16 to the square divided by what?
2. So 256 divided by 2.
All right.
256 divided by 2, and I got that. So you put this number all together, what do you get?
Negative 522.86.
Okay, so that's a fraction wise. What's that fraction wise? Negative what?
1568 over
1568 over what? 3. And this is your minus what, you said? What's this one over here?
Oh,
That's negative 110. Is that right?
Yeah, 1/3 minus 1/2 minus 110.
Okay, let me try again.
Negative 661 over 6.
yeah.
661 over 6. All right, put all this minus this and give you a negative number. What's that equal to? When you do your homework problem, make sure.
37.
Okay, when you take your exam, you show me your steps, so I know to give you partial credit and see where you made a mistake. Are you with me? All right, so where is it? So any of your homework, okay, tomorrow you have 4 problems. Okay, the 4 problem does not mean just a 4 problem, right? You have what parts that you have. So it's 4 pages, 4 problems. So I need to make sure that, you need to show me your steps, not just answers. Because remember, if you just show me answers, I don't know how you got it. So that case, I cannot give you full credit. You may only get a 2 points out of 10, because I have no idea where you got it. You memorize because you remember that problem from your WebAssign and give me that answer, that is not valid because you have to show your work. Because on your exam, I always said, show your work, show your steps, okay?
Is it negative 632?
Negative what, 32?
632.
632. All right, is that what you have, you guys? All right, it should not be that hard, right? Because you put in your calculator. What's that equal
We
to?
got 825 over 2.
It's negative 1568 over 3, right?
Yeah.
Minus 661 over 6.
So when you put this one, you have to put what? Negative 1568 divided by what?
3. Done.
Minus 661 divided by 6.
Did that.
Yeah? You put
That's
the
what I got.
parentheses.
Is it, did I do it right? Here.
All right, so you made a mistake on here, what? You put the minus and negative. No, you just told me this thing is, what is this thing, whole thing? Is this the whole thing is negative sign or positive sign?
It's a
This is a
negative.
negative, oh, so you have a negative and negative?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I wrote it wrong, sorry about that, you guys. So, you know you have a negative side in the front. And then this answer right here is also what? Negative. So actually, this is actually what same as what? Plus. We're gonna make a plus here. So that's why your answer is this, 632? No? No? What is the other answer?
Negative 825 over 2.
Negative
825 over 2.
825 over 2. So we all got it now? So we got it. The mistake, the differences between the one answer to another answer because of what? This is a negative and negative makes what? Positive, that's why.
So it would be negative 1568 over 3 plus
Right.
661 over 6.
Right.
That doesn't make
Doesn't give
412?
It says 825 over 2?
It's the same
Oh, that's
thing.
412.
It's the same.
Oh, I didn't reduce it.
That's-
It's the same thing.
Same thing?
412,
Okay,
negative
okay.
412.
All right. So your answer tells you what class? This particle is moving which way? Left, that's right, it's moving left. That's what that. So, as you see, displacement, you can have a negative number. Displacement is not same as distance. If I ask you distance, you have to give me what? Only positive number, because distance is only positive. It's like absolute value. So this place just tell you, it was moving some to the right, some to the left. The important thing is the particle is what? The end point, the particle started here, but end point is what? It moves someplace in where? In a negative place. Are you with me, class? This is my negative. Okay, so we all good? Now, let's do total distance. Is everybody good here? All right, moving on to the total distance. All right, second part. Remember, total distance means I need to make, if it's a negative number, I gotta make it to be what? Positive, because I wanna count how much it moved. How much it moved, doesn't matter, it moved to the left, it moved to the right. I want to count how much it moved. It may move 5 to the right, 5 to the left, I'm gonna count every bit of a movement. So, this time I gotta make this into what? I need to solve that for 0 first. Let's factor that. So you're gonna factor this as a t and t. Which number do I need? Multiply this to give me a negative 1. 10 and 11?
Negative
10 and 11, right? And negative to be 11. So I'm gonna rewrite this problem as t plus 10 and then what? T minus 11, right? So in other words, I gotta figure out when does it give me a 0, right? So t is equal to negative 10 or t is equal to 11. So I'm gonna use only t equal to 11. Because this is in between where? The given limit. And also this is also a negative number. So I don't care about this one. So this is a wrong one to use. So our find total distance, which is, I'm gonna do between where? So I'm gonna do 1 to where? 11, and plus 11 to where? 16. So as I said before, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna use just like this. I mean, if you want to, you can graph this and so you know which way is supposed to, which one is going to be down and which one is going to be up. So looking at this, 10, negative 10, positive 11. So we're going to have here and here. So this is my graph looks like, right? Are you with me, class? Because it's a t squared is a positive number, so your graph has to be what? Concave up. So I will have a graph looks like this. So in other words, from, but I'm only interested in where? 1. So I'm starting it right here. This is what I'm interested in. So looking at this graph, this is where? Negative, isn't it? From here to here, the 16 is what? Positive. So knowing this will give me a negative answer. Are you with me, class? Are you with me, class? So I will get negative answer, but I will make that into a positive. So you can write it like this, or if you want, rewrite it as, just like your homework problem. When you look at your example problem, they will rewrite this problem as a negative t squared plus t and plus 1/10. They wrote it opposite sign because if you evaluate just like this, you get a negative number. They didn't like it. They said, hey, how about I change the sign now? So when you get the negative answer, because negative and negative makes what? Positive. So if you want, you can evaluate it like this. And when you get the negative answer, just make it to the positive or what? Just like that, and then what? Change the sign later. It doesn't matter for me. Are you with me, class? So you know how to evaluate this. You know how to evaluate that. So let's go and do it. So this one, again, we have what? T to the third divided by 3 minus t squared divided by 2 minus 1/10 t. So first one, I will evaluate which to which. That's right. What's next one I'm gonna do? Same thing. But I'm gonna do what? Class, make sure that I'm gonna put this to be what? Positive number. You get this one, whatever you have, give me positive. Are you with me? The net number, you will get a negative number, but you gotta convert to a positive. Are you with me, class? All right. And then the other one you're gonna do what? Same thing again. And I'm gonna evaluate it between where? From what? T equal to, you cannot see it. Let me get closer so you can see. And then t is equal to what? 11. Are you with me, class? So plug in your number. I'm gonna erase this picture so I have a place to do this work. All right, so do this one. So this one gives me, then I'm gonna do what? 11 to the third divided by 3 minus 11 to the square divided by 2 minus 110 times 11. Right? And then minus what? 1 to the third divided by 3, 1 to the square divided by 2, 110 times 1. Tell me what that equal to.
Is it minus or plus?
The minus right here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm doing an original problem right here, not the sign change one, because I want to show you, you were gonna have a negative answer here. Are you with me, class? Because when you look at the picture, it was a negative area, all right? So which means it's moving to the left. But I don't care. To distance means I can always make everything to be what? Positive. So what's this equal to? Give me an answer. So put in your calculator, just put everything in here, give me a total number, give me a total number. I don't need a in-between process. Just put everything in your calculator and tell me what that equal to. I need to download. Since we cannot use Julia box, I will download regular Julia. Okay. Did you get it? Does anybody put that in your calculator so we know what that equal to? Because you have a what? Positive number only. So what do you have? You get a negative number. Tell me what that equal to. This is supposed to be a negative number. But we're going to make that into positive, okay? What's this equal to? Did you plug it in your calculator yet?
Negative 6. I got 496.
496 divided by what? 6. And this is a negative.
4961. Yes, that's a negative.
Okay, so you know this is negative, but I told you make it into what? Positive. So I'm gonna say, okay, this is that. Since it's a distance, so my answer is what? 4961 divided by 6. That's what I have from this. Now I'm gonna add which one? This one. This one should have a positive.
That was only for the first one, for 11.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will wait for the other one then, okay.
The whole thing is negative 2,150 over 3.
Okay, whole thing is what? Negative,
Negative 2150 over 3.
over 3. So I'm gonna make an absolute value, so which give me what? 2150 over what? 3. That's the first one. Is everybody with me? First one, when you plug it in 11, and when you plug in 1, you get this one, 2150 over 3. Is everybody with me? I'm only partially done. Now what do you have to do? What do you have to plug it in? Now we gotta plug in what? 16s. Do we know about the 16 already? We did it from previous problem, right? Did we not do that, class? We got this one. That was like 21 something. You have this number already.
The 16. It was negative 1568 over 3.
Okay. So, in other words, class, you already have this number from previous problem. You have this number from where? Right here. So this should be an easy one. This is almost done because you already have this number from here. This one from the previous problem, right? Section, step 1. So what's this one equal to? What's this total equal to? Put in your calculator and tell me what that equal to. Do you know how to put this in your calculator in one step? Yeah, yes or no? Yes. So you do what? 16 to the third divided by 3 minus 16 to the square divided by 2 minus 110 times 16, right? And you get whatever the number. You do this one. So this should not be hard, just long, because you gotta put a lot of numbers in your calculator. So your total distance should give you, the answer to this one should be this.
Is it 194?
6125, 6125 over 6. That's your total distance. If you get that one, that means you got it right. 6125 divided by 6. So better know how to use your calculators and better know how to do what? Break your problem into 2 parts. And save your answers. Show your step. If you show your step, this part becomes much easier because you already got this problem. You got 16 from the previous problem. It's much easier. So there'll be 4 problems tomorrow. I can do one more problem with you guys. Any problem that you want me to go over?
It was 4.2.
Problem number 2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Job before lesson 2.
Okay, so lesson 2. What number?
It was like number 8.
Number 8. Are you guys all good?
Yeah.
This is, write this down, make sure that you got this answer, okay? Or 6125 over 6, that's your answer. All right, number 8. Is this the one you're asking? Okay, so. Okay, they're asking you, where's the area between? So they even give you a picture. How many rectangles you doing? 4. So if you starting with 3, where's 3? Right here. So we're looking at 3 to all the way to where? 5.
How come mine didn't give me a graph like that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like,
We
when
don't
we
have
do
a-
it, it doesn't have.
Right,
graphs.
yeah.
Oh, is this a solution? Okay, so then let's not look at the solution, only the problem. So we have a problem only. Is everybody with me now? Okay, so let me transfer that problem to the other one then, okay? So I will be doing just like you. So 4.2, number 8. And my graph they gave me is g of x is equal to 2x squared minus x minus 1. I want that number to be in between where? 3 and 5. And how many rectangles? 4 rectangles. So I'm just gonna roughly graph. Are you with me? I'm just gonna roughly graph. So it says if I plug it in 3, what's my answer should be? So if I plug in 3, what's my answer? 2 times 3 squared minus 3 minus 1. What's that equal to? 14. 14? So 3 is going to be 14. What about 4?
27.
27? So like here, so it looks like it's going up like this. Am I right? Okay, so I have this graph. And then the area is between what? I'm going to use the lower sum and upper sum. Are you with me, class? So, okay, they told me to graph. I'm going to do the ones with the, okay, I'm going to graph here. This is the only thing I am interested, but they told me to graph how many rectangles? 4. So I got, right now I only have a 1 rectangle. Are you with me, class? I'm going to make it into what? 2 and then what? Divide it even more. Is everybody with me? So what's my width? What's my width, each one of them right here? Half, right? Y is half. So I'm gonna do my width is 5 minus 3 divided by what? 4. They told me to do what? 4 rectangles. And this is my what? Total width, right? So that gives me 2 divided by 4, which gives you what? 1/2. So half is your width. Or 0.5, whichever. Okay? So now, looking at this graph, so if I graph this way, look at my picture. If I draw like this, okay, this triangle, this rectangle, first one, does it give you more than the graph or less than the graph?
More.
No, graph is this. I'm doing here, so you're missing how much? That much. So if I graph over here, you're missing where? This much. Are you with me, class? So I'm using, this is my height, that to be my height, this to be my height, and that to be my height. That's my first lower height 1, lower height 2, and then lower height 3, and this is what? Lower height 4. That's what I'm using. Are you with me? So what's the number you're using? Very first one, so lower, first lower one, I'm using what? 1/2 times what? F of which number? 3. What's my second lower rectangle?
3.5.
1/2 times F of what? 3.5. What's third one? Same thing, 1/2 times what? F of what? 4. What's fourth one? 1/2 times F of what? 4.5. That's my lower sum. Okay, I'm not gonna figure this one out because you can plug in your calculator. Are you with me, class? How do you get F of 3, class? What do you do?
Put it in the phone.
Plug in like this, right? Plug in like that. Let's do my upper sum. I'm gonna use green. Upper sum means I'm using this. So upper sum starts right here. What's next one? Second one here. So upper 1, upper 2, upper 3, and upper what? 4. Now, I am studying that as my height. So because I did it, what happened now? My upper sum gives me more than graph. In fact, how much more? This tiny corner thing is more than the graph. So my upper sum, still 1/2, but F of which number you start with?
3.5.
3.5. Is everybody with me? The height, the very first height is this. 1, 1, like that. So you start with this height. That becomes your very first height.
What was on your very first line?
Huh?
Oh, okay.
3.5. So very first one starts with 3.5. Next one is what? F of 4. Next one will be F of 4.5. What's next one will be? That's right. So class, don't forget to write these answers because every one of them you can use. This 3.5, 4, and 4.5 you can use where? Over here. So upper sum and lower sum was the only difference. The starting number and then what? Ending number, yes. And
The number that we get up.
yeah, after you get all this, what you do? you add them. You add this. This number, this upper sum plus this upper sum, and this upper sum give you a upper sum. The lower upper sum, the lower sum, what do? You add in each one of them. That give you a lower sum.